Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Easy English Podcast. Today's episode is calm, slow, and a little deeper than usual. We're not trying to teach anything. We're simply having an honest conversation.
Today, we're talking about something many people feel at some point in life, but often don't know how to describe. That feeling of being lost.
If you're listening while resting, walking, or doing something quiet, this episode is for you. There's no rush today. Tom, when people say they feel lost in life, I think many imagine something dramatic, like quitting a job or having a big crisis. But from my experience, feeling lost is often very quiet. It's not loud or sudden. It feels more like a soft question that keeps returning, even when everything looks fine on the outside.
Yes, I agree with that completely. When I first felt lost, I didn't even have the words for it. I was going to work, meeting people, doing what I was supposed to do, but there was this constant feeling that I wasn't really present in my own life. It felt like I was watching myself from a distance.
That distance can be very confusing because when nothing is clearly wrong, we often tell ourselves that we shouldn't feel this way.
Exactly. I remember thinking, other people have real problems. Why do I feel like this? And that thought made me feel guilty, as if being lost was something I had no right to feel.
Softly, guilt adds another layer to the confusion.
It does. Instead of listening to the feeling, I tried to ignore it. I stayed busy, filled my schedule, and told myself that clarity would come later. But the truth is, the more I ignored it, the stronger it became.
What did it feel like in your body, if you think back?
It felt like low energy. Not sadness, not depression, just a constant tiredness that sleep didn't fix. I would wake up and feel like the day was already heavy.
That kind of tiredness often comes from inside, not outside.
Yes, and over time I realized that feeling lost was not a sign of failure. It was a sign that something inside me was changing, but I hadn't caught up with that change yet.
That's a very important realization, because many people think being lost means going backward, when in reality, it often means you're between versions of yourself.
Exactly. The old direction no longer fits, but the new one isn't clear yet, and that space in between can feel very uncomfortable. He continues, voice steady and calm. I think many adults feel lost because life doesn't follow the stories we were told. We grow up believing that if we study, work hard, and make the right choices, clarity and satisfaction will naturally appear. But real life is much more complex than that.
Yes, and when reality doesn't match that story, we often blame ourselves instead of questioning the story itself.
That's true. There is also a lot of pressure to always look confident, to always know what you're doing, especially as an adult. Admitting that you feel lost can feel like admitting weakness.
And social media makes that pressure stronger.
Very much so. We constantly see people sharing success, progress, and happiness, and it creates the illusion that everyone else knows where they're going. When you compare your internal confusion to someone else's highlight reel, it's very easy to feel behind.
Soft sigh. Comparison quietly takes away patience.
Yes, and patience is exactly what feeling lost requires. When I was younger, I thought feeling lost meant I needed answers immediately. Now I understand that clarity often comes slowly through reflection, rest, and small experiences.
Do you think feeling lost is connected to growth?
I do. Growth creates questions, and questions create uncertainty. Every time we outgrow an old identity, there is a period where we don't yet know who we're becoming.
That period can feel scary, especially if we're used to defining ourselves by roles or goals.
Exactly. Job titles, achievements, and plans give us a sense of identity. When those things change or lose meaning, we can feel like we're standing on unstable ground.
Slow nod. But instability can also be a place of possibility.
Yes, but only if we allow ourselves to stay there long enough to understand what's happening inside us, instead of rushing to escape the discomfort.
When people feel lost, the most common question they ask is, how do I find my direction again? But I've started to think this question itself can sometimes create more pressure than clarity.
I agree, because direction doesn't usually arrive as a clear sign or plan. It often appears through small shifts in how we feel about our days.
That requires slowing down, which is something many people struggle with.
Yes, slowing down feels risky in a world that values speed and productivity. But when I allowed myself to slow down, I noticed things I had ignored for years. I noticed what drained me and what quietly gave me energy.
That kind of awareness is very powerful.
It is. Instead of asking, what should I do with my life, I started asking, what feels right today? That question felt kinder and more realistic.
Kindness matters a lot when you're lost.
It really does. Being hard on yourself only creates noise, but kindness creates space, and space allows direction to emerge naturally.
Do you think it's okay to not have a clear direction for a long time?
Yes, absolutely. Life is not a straight line. Some periods are about movement, and others are about rest and reflection. Both are important.
Smiles softly. I think many people need to hear that.
Being lost doesn't mean you're failing. It often means you're listening. And listening is the first step towards an honest life.
After a long pause, maybe finding direction isn't about certainty, but trust. Trusting yourself and trusting the process.
I couldn't agree more. Sometimes being lost is exactly where you need to be.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
If you're feeling lost right now, you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you.
Take your time. Clarity doesn't need to be rushed.
We'll see you in the next episode.